Bismillahir-Rahman-Nir-Rahim. The status of Hadeeth in Islam. Through the Quranic and historical perspective.
How were Ahadith compiled?
How did these Ahadith reach us? What is their status in Deen? What is the mutual relationship of the Quran and
Ahadith.
Ghulam Ahmad Parwez.
Muhammad Aslam Jairajpuri.
5 Muta. Temporary marriage.
And Ahadith.
The Shia sect believes in a matter called muta, which means a man and a woman entering into nikah, marriage, temporarily for the purposes of sex and giving remuneration to the woman for this sexual relation,
after the expiry of the stipulated time period,
even if only for the duration of one sexual contact. This nikah becomes invalid automatically. According to Ahl Sunnah, muta is not legitimate. Our position about Sunnis or Shias, or other sects of Muslims, is absolutely clear. The Quran unambiguously declares sectarianism as shirk. When Rasulullah established the system of deen based purely on the Quran, no sect existed in the Ummah. Therefore we do not belong to any sect. Moreover, in this matter we are not arguing over what the Sunnis say or what the Shias say.
The aim for which we have mentioned the issue of muta is different.
We have said that according to Sunnis muta is declared unlawful because according to them there is merely a difference of words between muta and zina and both are in fact the same. Therefore Sunnis cannot even begin to imagine that, may Allah forbid, Rasulullah could have given the order for muta, or that the Sahaba, companions of the Messenger, indulged in muta. But let us now look to see what the authentic collections of ahadith and books of tafsir of Sunni scholars themselves say about this matter. A mujtahid of Shias, Sayyid Ali Naqi, has written a pamphlet called Muta and Islam.
In it he has proved from beginning till end,
from ahadith and the tafsir of Sunnis, that permission for muta was given by Rasulullah himself, and the Sahaba acted upon it, and the followers and scholars of Makkah continuously declared it to be legitimate.
We make it clear that we do not consider these ahadith to be authentic.
Not because these go against Sunnis, but because according to our understanding this goes against the clear teachings of the Quran. And since no saying or deed of Rasulullah can be against the Quran, therefore as far as we are concerned, these narrations are not right. But these ahadith of Sunnis are present in those books which they accept as being authentic. But first let us look at those narratives in which it is said that Rasulullah, may Allah forbid, himself allowed muta. Whom did he give permission to? To the Sahaba themselves. The most trustworthy book of Sunnis is Bukhari Sharif, which is given the status of the right book after the Book of Allah. The following is a hadith in volume 2, page 759, published by Curzon Gazette Press, Delhi, and volume 3, page 146, published in Egypt. Abdullah bin Mas'ud narrates that we used to go into battles with Rasulullah and we used to have nothing to satisfy our natural
sexual
urges. So we said, should we not cut off our genitals? Rasulullah forbade us from this. Then he gave us permission to enter into a nikah with women in exchange for some cloth etc. After Bukhari, Sahih Muslim is next in status, in which this narrative has been reported in 3 ways.
In one place the word, ila ajl,
specific duration, has been added i.e. Rasulullah permitted us to enter into nikah with women in exchange for cloth etc.
for a stipulated period of time.
In another place it is written that this was not specifically confined to the period of battles only.
In Jama' al-Fawa'id the only difference in this narrative is that Hazrat ibn Mas'ud said that we used to go to battles with Rasulullah and we did not use to have our women with us. On this Rasulullah allowed us the above facility, i.e. permission for nikah for a specified period.
This same narrative is also given in Masnad Imam Abi Abdullah Muhammad bin Idris Shafi, page 145, published in Egypt. Moreover, in Muntaqi al-Akbar, the grandfather of Shaykh al-Islam Imam Ibn Taymiyyah has called this a unanimously agreed upon narrative. And Sahib Kanz al-Amal has written, page 295, volume 8, that Imam Tabari confirmed it in Tazib al-Asar. Another hadith in Sahih Bukhari states, Jabir bin Abdullah and Salma bin al-Aki say that we were in an army when a courier from Rasulullah came to us and said, "You have been permitted to do mutar, now you can do mutar." In Sahih Muslim on page 450, the words of this narrative are that the messenger sent a person to proclaim that you people have been given permission to do mutar.
In another narrative,
Muslim, page 451, it says that Rasulullah himself came and proclaimed that mutar is allowed.
A third hadith in Bukhari,
published Delhi, volume
I, page 767 and published Egypt, volume
3, page 150, is as follows. A narrative of Salma bin Akua says that Rasulullah stated that when a man and a woman mutually agree, this should be for a period of 3 nights for sexual relations. After that, if they wish, this period can be increased, or if they wish, they can separate. In Sahih Muslim,
published Delhi, page 451.
It is stated that during the year of the Battle of Outas, Rasulullah had allowed mutar for a period of 3 days. This same narrative is also quoted in Jama' al-Fuaid, Sunan, Darqutni and Nazl-e-Amal. Now listen to the details of this in Sahih Muslim. Page 151, published in Delhi.
Sabrayani says that when Rasulullah allowed mutar, I and another man went together to a woman of Bani Ammar and expressed our wish.
She asked us about her payment. I said, I will give you my shawl, and my companion also offered his shawl. Though his shawl was better than mine, I was younger compared to him. When the woman looked at his shawl, she would seem inclined towards him. But when she would look at me, she was attracted to me.
Finally she said that you and your shawl are good for me.
Therefore I remained with her for 3 days. Have you seen how Imam Muslim Neshapuri portrays the character of the Sahaba? Astaghfirullah. May Allah forgive. Kanz al-Amal, volume 8, page 294, relates a narrative from Sabra in these words that when we reached Makkah for Hajjat al-Wida, final pilgrimage,
we went around the Khana Kaaba and ran between Safa and Marwa.
After that Rasulullah gave us permission to have mutar with women. We came back to him and said that the women do not agree for mutar till a time period is not fixed. Rasulullah said to fix the time period and then do mutar. Do you see, according to the statements of our narrators, what teaching Rasulullah was giving to the Sahaba in his last pilgrimage? The defense of the members of Ahl Sunnat wal Jamaat is that though Rasulullah undoubtedly gave permission for mutar, he later on forbade it. This way they satisfy their hearts that they have managed to remove a big blot from the face of Islam. But these naive people do not understand even this much, what opinion the world will have about the messenger who till the final years of his messengerhood, according to these narrators, had allowed acts of mutar. May Allah forbid. An interesting thing is also that all narrations prohibiting mutar have such contradictions left in them that any thinking individual will become mired in confusion as to how disquieting these narratives are. For example, in Kanz al-Amal, volume 8, page 295, from one narrator, Sabrajeni, whose narrations have already been noted that Rasulullah gave permission for mutar during Hajjat al-Wida, 3 different narrations are quoted, one of which says, Rasulullah disallowed mutar on the day of Kaiba. Another one says that Rasulullah prohibited it
on the day of Fatah-e-Makkah,
victory of Makkah. And the third notes that Rasulullah disallowed it during Hajjat al-Wida. But in Shara Muslim Naudi, published Delhi, Volume
I, page 450.
It is said that Ishaq bin Rashid narrates that Rasulullah disallowed muta during the Battle of Tabuk. Do you see how much confusion has been created by many interpretations of a dream? Therefore its solution was thought to be that permission for doing muta was given more than once and was prohibited more than once. As such, Imam Muslim has even given this subject title to this matter. Regarding the statement of this matter in the chapter on Nikah Muta, it was allowed and then cancelled, again allowed and after that again cancelled, and then its prohibition was established till the Day of Judgment. Well, at least one matter is resolved, that when Rasulullah forbade muta for the final time, it remained haram till the Day of Judgment. But wait, turn some pages over in this same Sahih Muslim, in which is written above that Rasulullah declared muta to be haram till the Day of Judgment. And see what you find there. Volume 1, p. 451. Atta narrates that Jabir bin Abdullah came to Makkah for Umrah and we went to visit him, and various people asked him different questions.
The matter of muta arose and he said yes.
We people did muta during the period of Rasulullah and the period of Abu Bakr and the period of Umar. See for yourself. Rasulullah has declared this haram till the Day of Judgment, but the Sahaba are continuing to do muta till the era of Hazrat Umar. Allah forbid. Another narrative in this same Muslim says,
Abu al-Zubair says that I heard Jabir bin Abdullah saying that we had been indulging in muta in exchange for just a fistful of barley or flour during the period of Rasulullah and during the period of Hazrat Abu Bakr until such a time that Hazrat Umar stopped it after the incident of Amr bin Haris.
Kanz al-Amal has mentioned the remuneration for muta to be a cup of satu. This has also been confirmed by Fatah al-Bari. Shara Bukhari Volume 9, page 138. On page 294 of Kanz al-Amal the following is noted.
Umayy Abdullah binte Abi Fatiha narrates that a man came from Syria and stayed in their house.
He said, without a woman I am in distress, could you find a woman for me with whom I can do muta? She says that I gave him the address of a woman and he had muta with her and got some people as witnesses.
And then he remained with her for a long time and then left for Syria.
Someone informed Hazrat Umar, who called me and asked whether this incident was true. I said, yes.
He said, inform me when that man comes back.
When he returned, I informed Hazrat Umar. He called for him and asked him, what is it that you did? He replied that I had done this previously in the presence of Rasulullah and he did not stop me till his death. And then it happened during the period of Hazrat Abu Bakr and he too did not stop me.
And then it has continued to happen even during your period and you too have not forbidden it.
Hazrat Umar said, I swear by Allah in whose control is my life, that had I forbidden it earlier I would have stoned you to death. Now it is better for you to separate so that there is a differentiation between nikah and musafihat. Fornication. Till now our discussion has only been about Sahaba. Men. In the above narration one Sahabiya, female, is also mentioned and the extent to which she gave assistance in this righteous deed. Ya Allah. Tawbah. O Allah. Give me protection. But this is not the end of it. Read on a bit further, but before doing this, tell modesty that it should shut its eyes, and tell bashfulness that it should disappear from your eyes, and tell shame that it should cover its face. Mention is now going to be made about Hazrat Abu Bakr's daughter and Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa's sister, Hazrat Zubair's wife I.e. Hazrat Asma. This narrative is from Qazi Sanullah Pani Pati's Tafsir-e-Mazari, page 19.
Hazrat Asma says that during the life of Rasul-ullah we had muta. On the basis of this, when Hazrat Asma's son,
Urva, said to Hazrat Ibn Abbas, "Don't you fear Allah that you allow muta?" Hazrat Abbas said, "Just go and ask your mother." From this we come to know whether Rasul-ullah had stopped muta or not, but Hazrat Umar certainly did stop this practice. Therefore in Zad al-Mu'ad, Ibn Qayyim, Volume
1, page 243.
It is noted that Hazrat Umar said that there were two types of mutas which were prevalent during the time of Rasul-ullah, but I am stopping both, one mata-e-hajj and the second with women. You will have breathed a sigh of relief that at least from the period of Hazrat Umar onwards this lewd practice ended. But how could this happen? What kind of conspiracy is there that can be ended like this? We will continue with the issue. Therefore see what Fatah al-Bari says.
Ibn Abdul Bar has said that all the Sahaba of Ibn Abbas who belonged to Makkah and Yemen were convinced of the legitimacy of muta.
Ibn Hazm has said that of the Tabi'in followers.
Tauz, Sa'id bin Jaber, Atta and all the religious scholars of Makkah considered it legitimate. These are those sacred ahadith and sayings of our imams regarding this issue of muta which was declared zina, fornication,
by Hazrat Umar himself. Our concern is not what responses the Sunni scholars give to these objections in their debates and discussions on this matter, but only to see this much, that all the narrations and their explanations exist in these books belonging to Sunnis, and that these are those books which they declare Ghair Matlu, unrecited revelation of Rasul-ullah, and which are given the status of Mitluhu Mahu,
parity with the Quran.
And from the teachings of these books our pious scholars get their sacred certificates, and husdas, preachings, from these books in the mosque after prayers are considered to be a source of great reverence and grace. And these are the books which the Muslims keep close to their hearts because through these they follow Sunnah of Rasul-ullah, obedience of the Messenger, and Sunnah of Sahaba. This is all given in these books. But hold on, till now the matter was confined to narrations only, the Quran was not included.
Now let us see how in this connection efforts have been made to fold the Quran into this also.
According to Ahl Sunnat wal Jamaat, the tafsir of Imam Tabari is called al-Tafsir, mother of tafsir.
This is the very first detailed written tafsir.
The subsequent tafsirs followed this closely.
See how Imam Tabari confers legitimacy on muta. He writes,
Abu Sabat narrates that Ibn Abbas gave me a Musahif document,
and said that it is according to the Qirat recitation
of Abi bin Ka'b.
Yahya bin Asa, who copied this narrative related by Nazir bin Abi al-Ashas, says that he saw this document with Nazir.
In it is written, Farma astamtatum behi min hana ila ajal masama i.e., you do mutar with women for a specified period. Abu Nasra narrates that I questioned Ibn Abbas about mutar.
He said, "What, do you not recite Surah Nisa?"
I replied, "Yes, why not?" He said, "Then do you not read this verse in it, Farma astamtatum behi min hana ila ajal masama?" I said, "No, if it was reading like this why would I have asked you?" He replied, "It is good that you should know that the real verse is like this." Abdul Alah's narration, which is copied from Abu Nasra, also states that I recited this verse in front of Ibn Abbas, Farma astamtatum behi min hana. And Ibn Abbas said, Ila ajal masama. I said that I do not read it this way. He said 3 times, by Allah, Allah has revealed it in this very way.
A narrative by Abu Ishaq says that Ibn Abbas recited, Farma astamtatum behi min hana ila ajal masama.
The 5th narrative is Shobas and the 2 is quoted from Abu Ishaq. Qatada says that in Abi bin Ka'b's Qirat it is as follows. Fama astamtatim behi min huna ila ajal masama. Umrah bin Mara narrates that he heard Sa'id bin Jaber reciting, Fama astamtatim behi min huna ila ajal masama.
This excerpt is not from any book of a Shia scholar but is from the tafsir of the highly distinguished and eminent Sunni scholar Imam Tabari.
And the individuals to whom these narrations are attributed are Sahaba of very high status who are repeatedly swearing by Allah that this verse was not revealed like this as is clearly noted in the Quran, but was revealed with this additional phrase which justifies legitimacy of mut'ah. Have you noted how the matter has moved from one position to a completely different interpretation? You can see from the above explanations what kind of pictures are presented about Allah, Rasulullah, Sahaba, and the followers etc.
by the most renowned books of narrations and authentic tafsirs of the Sunnis. From these narrations and tafsirs, efforts have been made to prove the following. 1. The verses in the Quran were not revealed in the same form but according to the recitations of different Sahaba their revealed forms were something different. 2. Rasulullah himself had permitted the Sahaba to do mut'ah for a fistful of barley or flour and this permission continued till the last days of his messengerhood. 3. In Islamic society mut'ah was a common practice during the period of Rasulullah and the Sahaba, and there was no hesitation about it among either men or women. 4. Though Rasulullah had declared mut'ah to be haram during the last days of his life, despite this the practice of mut'ah continued throughout the period of Hazrat Abu Bakr until the early part of the period of Hazrat Umar. 5. Despite Hazrat Umar banning mut'ah, it was considered legitimate by the Sahaba, their followers and the scholars of Makkah. 6. And even those who called it illegitimate, whether willingly or unwillingly, also kept saying that Hazrat Umar has stopped a very great rahmat, benevolence of Allah. Sakazi Sanullah Pani Patti writes in his tafsir, page 19. Hadeeth Abdur Razak has written in his book by referring to Ibn Jarij, who in turn reported it from Atta, that Ibn Abbas used to say that mut'ah being legitimate was considered to be a rahmat from Allah for his servants. Had Hazrat Umar not banned it, there would never have been any reason for a Muslim to commit zina, fornication. Are you ready in any way whatsoever to accept that these ahadith could really be from Rasulullah? Then listen again. These ahadith have not been taken from the books of ahadith belonging to the Shia sect. These are written in the most trustworthy books of ahadith belonging to the Ahl Sunnat wal Jamaat. And those who deny them are labeled Munkir-e-Hadith and are expelled from the sphere of Islam. Note: all these ahadith regarding mut'ah which have been presented from different books of ahadith are available together in Sahih Muslim with Shurah Nudi, Volume 4, Kitab an-Nikah, p. 12-22. This book of ahadith has been published by Naimani Kutab Khana, Urdu Bazaar, Lahore.